check. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Can you fucking hear me?
I can fucking hear you.
Wingman.
I was about to jump in too, so I don't know.
He better take me up on that. I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right, count us in.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom. What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome to another episode of Necro Electric. I'm your host, Sean D. Skellington.
What's happening over there?
This is my mocking ass wife, Kylie Skellington. We've got the sorceress of the sound mixer, Jordan Fernandez. And today we have a very special guest. It's been postponed 80 times.
God,
But today it's finally going down. Mr. Eric. I always pronounce last names wrong. Linares?
That's about as good as you're gonna get. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it?
Linares.
Okay.
Linares.
Put
You got to have that.
little twang on it.
Linares. No, but Linares is what I was called all throughout my educational career. So
Linares.
Little
that's-
ruffles have
that's
ridges.
what it is. Oh.
All right. You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button.
Yep.
Do it.
Get us to 4 fans.
4 fans.
This is sexual harassment.
Oh, God. Hey, I'm an HR manager. I can't see that.
It's okay. We're married.
Oh, okay.
Are we? This is Eric's first time, so he has to play Who the Hell Are You?
Oh shit.
So I'm going to ask you a question. We're going to guess the first 2.
Right on.
And then we're going to try to guess your answers, but hold your answer until we
So
get
you'll
it all
guess.
written down.
Okay.
All right. Warlock, vampire, monster hunter, pirate, or troll?
Let me read your aura. Hold. What the hell happened?
My fucking pen exploded.
Look like a fish.
Let me read your aura. Hold on.
Aura. Is that legal?
Yes, I have it. I have it.
As Scoop would say, you're a married woman, Jordan.
Am I? Yes, I am. It's legally binding.
Okay. Just making sure.
All right, what's your
I
answer?
guess we're both single.
I'm going with Monster Hunter.
Aw, man. I chose
Would you
troll.
Troll?
Troll.
Warlock.
I was gonna go with Warlock.
I said
was.
werewolf.
Hard. It's because of the beard, isn't it?
Yeah. Anybody that's like kind of hairy, I'm always like werewolf. All right. Question 2. What kind of porn do you get down to?
Oh shit.
Oh God, let me think.
Damn.
Let me think. I had some good ones last time. Oh.
Man, they're really writing over there.
Okay.
Long ass fucking thing.
Right out of the scenario.
Oh shit.
All right. What's your answer?
Oh fuck. I like latex bondage and stuff like that.
Oh, totally not what I thought.
Oh, interesting. I said stepmom, stepson porn.
Stepmom, stepson? Damn, dude.
Listen here.
They're in
Listen
latex
here.
Bondage.
Damn.
You got to clarify, like he would be the stepson, or he has a stepson. What are you trying to say?
I just meant like stepmom and her son, or stepson and the mom. I don't know what I just was like, ooh, stepmom, stepson. Anyway, I'm
so
sorry.
many layers to that. So many layers to that.
Apparently, it's all the rage on all the like Pornhub or whatever. I don't know.
Is it
Stepmom porn.
It's keeping track of the top 10.
all the rage on her search history? I pulled a page out of Terry Blues' book. I said interracial gangbang.
Why would...
God,
That's like Terry. That's no one else.
It really
very
is.
specific.
It's interesting.
I said porn in unusual places.
In unusual.
Like
Oh,
in
okay.
a park or something.
That's
like,
actually like probably second up there. To be
Yeah?
honest. Yeah.
Figured.
Sweet.
Seems unsanitary.
When you want it, you want it.
I guess so.
Do we have to say airport bathroom?
Yeah, that's.
God damn it.
Oh wait, what? What's the story behind that one?
You'll have to go back and watch the other episodes. No, yeah, that whole latex thing makes me claustrophobic. I don't know why. Like the bondage or latex, like I can't do it. I'm just like, I can't breathe. I tried handcuffs one time and I was just like, nope. I need my hands free.
So funny how different everybody is.
I know.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Do you guys ever watch that old show, 1,000 Ways to Die?
Yeah, I remember watching that.
Yeah, there was one time the husband handcuffed his wife to the bed and they had a heart attack and died on her.
That's
He
the
had a heart attack and died.
He
on it?
had a heart attack.
Oh,
that's the plot
she
to
was
Gerald's
handcuffed.
Game. Is
Gerald's Game?
it's a Stephen King book, but they go out to this cabin and try to spice up their relationship, and he handcuffs her, and then he dies.
Oh, God.
And like a bunch of really scary, fucked up things happen. So yeah, definitely not doing
damn.
handcuffs. So.
All right, then.
All right. And then third question, you're on your deathbed looking back at your life so far. What's the biggest regret? We get deep in this motherfucker.
Oh, I got one. I always go back to this one. So it's actually kind of a story. So this was high school. Was it high school, middle school? I think it was high school. It was like first year of high school. You know, you
Is
take
that here in Waco?
back in Beaumont, Texas.
Oh, okay.
So you take those big trips, like you go to like Disney World or something, or Universal or something like that.
What
So-
school did you go to? Damn.
The park down the street.
I was in band though. I was in band. I was one of those band kids.
So was I. I only
Yeah.
forgot to go to Six Flags.
No, I played the trombone. But anyways, so we took this trip all the way over to Universal, I think it was. Yeah, it was Universal's. It was like a 3-day trip. It was fun and whatnot. But we were out there. I was hanging out with all my buddies. One of the things on the agenda was to go to this concert that was happening at Universal. And so it was like free for us because we were already in there or whatnot. And so that was like on the agenda, and like the music teacher was always like, you need to go to this concert. It's gonna be really awesome. It's gonna be real cool. But we were all whatever, let's do our own thing.
Try not
So-
to hit the table at all.
Okay. So basically, we were like, nah, whatever. We ended up just kind of like sneaking out, just going to like one of the areas that Universal, just hanging out behind like this like little 50s diner, just messing around. We could hear the concert in the background going, and it sounded like it was pretty crazy. But we were just over here being like just doing whatever. But eventually, down the line, and I wasn't super like musically educated at that time. I was pretty young, but eventually I found out that the person at the concert was Aretha Franklin.
Oh,
shit.
really?
Yeah. And it was like one of her last live
Live
performances
Yeah.
like
Oh
that.
my
and I was
God.
like, and that was like after, and I started like connecting the dots, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's a good
Fucking
one.
missed that.
You could have heard Respect live in person.
Oh God. Yeah, no, that's a bit. That's going to be a hard one to get over when you're dying, man.
No,
I'm just
it was,
saying.
It was a bad one.
I have kind of a similar story, but it
Yeah.
was Stevie Nicks.
Oh shit.
My stepmom was trying to like spend time with me to get to know me. And she wanted to take me to a concert, and then I literally got as far as to the car, and I was like, "No, I hate you," and I went back in the house. She went by herself.
Oh man,
missed
that's
out on
rough.
Stevie Nicks.
That's rough.
I missed Pantera and White Zombie together.
Aw,
I got
that's a good
arrested
one.
3 days in a row when I was
That's
16.
your own fucking fault then.
And my mom ripped the tickets up and they nailed my window shut. So I missed that one.
Wow.
But I did get to see Pantera 4 more times before they broke up.
Right on.
But never
love
got
to
to
see
see White Zombie
Pantera.
again.
I would love to see Pantera live.
Yeah.
It sounds like that would have been a good one.
Was it with Dime?
Yeah, Pantera's only with Dime.
Didn't they replace him at some point?
No,
Oh,
never.
They didn't?
Never.
Oh, okay.
They became Dime and his brother started a side band called Damage Plan when Phil Anselmo just went and did Super Joint and Down.
Gotcha.
And then a crazy fan shot him, killed him.
Sad.
R.I.P. Dime
All right.
and Vinny. Vinny died of a heart attack 2 years ago.
Oh no, is your thing? Is his camera repairing? I don't know what's
Yeah, it
happening.
is. What the
Oh, okay.
fuck? Yeah, that was weird. It did it before it beeped.
Oh,
What was that about?
it does it. I mean, the last week was the first time in a long time that it hasn't just decided to be like,
The
"Fuck
ghosts
you"
here
and
like to
pass
fuck
out.
with our cameras.
There we go.
Boom.
There we go.
Back in business.
Yeah.
Right on.
So if you guys don't know, Eric is one of the founders and organizers of Eastside Market.
Yeah.
Oh.
And if you guys don't live in Waco and you're wondering what Eastside Market is, it's held at Brotherwell Brewing. They bring together all kinds of really cool local artists. It's not like a bullshit, like normal, what do you call it, like farmers market.
Yeah.
You have artisans, you got creators
Eric
and
explain
crafters.
what it is. He's the founder.
No, man. Y'all go ahead. I hate
giving them
explaining
props.
it, man. It's always 100 times over. Yeah, it's a pretty dope little thing. We really kicked it off because we wanted to just create a space that was like cool for us to hang out with, you know, because I would go to these places like in Houston and Austin and Dallas with my brother, and it seems like we already knew all the kind of connections and in terms of like the space and the location, some of the artists, you know, some of the artists and some of the food trucks. It was just a matter of like putting it all together and just kind of like rolling with it.
Nice.
So it was pretty just kind of like, hey, we have this idea. Let's see if it works. Let's talk to some people. I reached out to Brotherwell. I already had some connects with them through Katsao, my food stuff. And then just within the matter of like a month and a half, we had the first one up and rolling. And it was like, it happened, and people were just like, oh, that was pretty cool, and let's do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we just started doing it monthly and monthly. Now it's just kind of like grown and become this cool little event / hangout space, and cool food and vendors and art and graffiti walls and just real good beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love it. Has like its entirely own vibe that like no other markets around here have, you know? It's very like, it really reminds me of a lot of places that I've been to in San Francisco. And it has this like, is hipster offensive? Do people get offended by that?
Only people who care about being
Yeah.
hipster.
Yeah, I don't know. It has like kind of that kind of vibe to me, but I love it.
Did you just point at me?
You said,
I'm wearing a fucking Christmas sweater for crying out loud.
oh, but you got the beanie on though too.
Damn it. Whatever.
I think, what was it, episode like 10 or something? We did a live. I think, was it
We
the first
did.
Eastside or the second Eastside?
It was the first Eastside.
Was the first
Was the
Eastside?
first
It was
one?
the first Eastside that
Yeah.
that y'all did it at.
Yeah, that was really fun, and it's cool to see how much it's evolved.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
how
yeah.
much even like the Brotherwell has like changed that whole like area.
It's
you know?
Brotherwell's been, you know, I think they're one of the coolest like kind of entities in the city right now because you're so open to allowing people to use their space
Yeah.
Yeah.
to create whatever they want.
Yeah,
So it
it's
was like,
awesome.
Yeah, we
From
did our
art,
50th
music.
episode there.
Yep.
You did. They have
No.
great beer too. Oof.
oh god, that Tripel.
Delicious.
Tripel is the official beer of Eastside Market.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know.
Gonna have to get one next time. We'll be at Eastside Market this month.
Hey, you will be.
Yeah,
No, it was
vending.
crazy how like because I was the one that reached out to Mod Ministry and Necro Electric
yeah.
that first time. Because at that time I was just kind of going through Instagram, just finding like interesting people. Like, you know, you go to that location thing, like what's
Yeah.
going on around your town. Just scrolling through everything, and I would like see people like building things, making things. I would like put them in a folder, be like, hey, potential vendor. Whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was going through, and then I saw like Mod Ministries thing, and I was like, what the fuck?
Titties.
Strap it on.
Holy shit! It's like, this is in Waco. I had to double check it.
Well,
Went through the
being into
things.
latex and bondage, I see why.
Outed.
And, you know, as a man of science, you know, I had to reach out and see what's going on about
Yeah.
it. But no, it's cool like that because it was like kind of the first time a lot of just random things got together like that.
Yeah,
And
Totally.
we
lot
met a
of-
shit
yeah.
ton of people there.
Yeah, a lot of people had said they haven't seen like just that, you know, kind of variety in things, and so I think it was a good experience, and it's definitely starting to grow. And
Well,
starting
we had
to
a
move.
great time, so
Yeah,
that's
fuck
why
yeah.
we've been back several times.
Yeah.
So
I love it when people like the recurring people
Yeah.
that come out. Like it's
Yeah.
become just kind of like its own little family too.
totally.
Yeah.
And so we just all like to
Yeah.
hang out and have a good time.
And it's cool too. He features musicians like our last guest, Anne. She performs there a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
we got T. Aguilar. And,
Yeah, Anne was there at the first East Side, I think,
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
She had a performance, man. She
Yeah.
has a crazy voice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's such a great voice. You know, she performs at the Classy Glass. Shout out to the Classy
Yes.
Glass.
Lilu?
And we keep Waco Loud on their open
Yeah.
mics, and she blows it away, bro. But no, yeah, we try to bring, you know, just trying to create a stage for just, you know, people that want to go out and showcase, you know, their talents or whatnot. The graffiti wall was a really cool thing to do, just kind of to have a space where just anybody can go up there and just, show off their work, their graffiti. That's how I met like Scoob and them and Dom and Black Sheep and all these other like awesome graffiti artists in Waco.
Yeah.
And then we started getting people in from Austin and Dallas too. So I think it's just been really cool to have a space that allows for that to happen.
Yeah.
I've never been to the market. I've only ever been to. I'm sorry. I only ever came that one time to meet up with John, and then I didn't actually stay for the market. So I've never actually like been to the market. Obviously, I need to change that.
Yes.
But how long have you been doing the market?
The first Eastside Market was last August, so August 2019.
Oh, okay, so a little over a year.
You got to go back and watch our episode, I guess.
I did watch the episode before my first episode. I watched that episode, but I didn't actually go to the market. But
It's hella fun. The food's bomb as fuck.
Oh,
They
yeah,
always have Fat Boy tacos.
Fat Boys
and,
is always out there.
Tequila.
Tequila. What's my
Po' Boys.
lemonade place?
Oh, cold brew?
Pops,
Something
and Waco
brew.
Cha.
Something brew.
Ready Brew.
Ready Brew.
Ready
Shout
Brew
out to
was
those
out there.
fuckers.
Ready Brew is so badass. And then now Cheney's Coffee is going to be out there.
Nice.
Cheney's
And
coffee is
so-
delicious.
So it's a pretty cool spot. We have a good amount of food vendors that come out too. So
how many regular vendors do you usually get? Or, I mean, how many do you let have a space?
like food vendors?
No,
Or
just
in
regular
gen-
vendors.
So for this next one, we have around 40 something.
Dang.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's awesome that so many like local people want to be a part of it.
Well, and there's not
Yeah.
really another, I mean, other than the market that you guys do, there's not really other markets that people have done even before COVID. I never really saw events other than like the farmer's market that happens however many times
Which
a
is
year.
different vibe.
Yeah.
Totally different vibe, but like something like that where you just have a variety of people and food and just kind of an atmosphere of creativity and art and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So there's not really anything else like that.
I think it comes down because there are a bunch of little ones that pop up and then they die
Definitely.
away. It's I
There's-
think what we
yeah.
have in common is
Recurring.
recurring and connecting all the vendors as like a community and
Yeah.
everybody promoting.
Yes.
Where all these other ones they just think, oh, it's no big deal. I'll just sell some
Show
space
up
and
or
we're good.
whatnot.
Yeah,
And
no.
then they
It's
don't promote
definitely
it.
not an event. It's a community building.
And that's the hard
Thing,
part
yeah.
too, is to keep that because a lot of these other things are just like maybe once a year or twice a year.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they're able to just kind of like go off that. But
Yeah.
with us, we need to like the whole point is to create that and to create that community. And so every market is consecutively trying to expand it and grow it and make sure we still like are still staying true to that kind of value of what it meant to have that community.
Well, you guys have
So-
been doing an awesome job, I must say.
Thank you.
Awesome.
No, y'all been killing it too, man. The skeleton market is so sick too. It was like the first one that I went to. I was like, oh, this is amazing, because it's such its own encapsulated essence,
Yeah.
just its own vibe, its
Spookier
own
vibe.
Yeah, much cooler, just like dark, dreary type stuff,
Yeah.
But I love it, dude.
Well, and
Thank you.
essentially, I've added the sideshow. It's almost like a little amusement park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go and there's
Yeah.
food and entertainment, but then also people's tables and vendors and stuff like that. So it's got a very kind of carnival-y vibe, which I love.
Yeah.
So
We welcome the freaks.
You know, freaks.
We love them. We love
Literally
you
have
guys.
a freak show.
yeah,
Are you guys gonna? Because if it's hard, like on a podcast too,
Yeah.
but they in Brotherwell's, I don't even want to call it. It's courtyard basically.
Yeah.
That's where it's
Yeah.
held, and then there's a fence. But it looks like you guys are setting up for like maybe an expansion. Over
Yeah,
on
I mean,
the other side of the
definitely.
fence.
We've always kind of like planned, and we know a lot of the people there, and so it's just looking to see what the time frame looks like and what. One of the
Getting past all this COVID
yeah,
bullshit.
Yeah, one of the other sucky things about everything is the construction that's happening over there.
oh
Yeah.
God,
And
yeah.
so I think they're also getting ready to tear up Elm Street
Oh,
along
shit,
that
really?
kind of along that line.
Really? That
So
sucks.
they're just trying to navigate
Yeah.
around those obstacles.
But they're actually building like ton of nice things all
Yeah.
around it.
It'll
So
be
I
nice
think
when
in the
it's
long
done.
run,
long
it's gonna
run,
be good
long run,
for
it'll
you guys.
definitely
Yeah.
look. It'll be hopefully as quick as we can get it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
For
definitely
sure.
gonna be really really nice once it all comes together. I think.
Yeah, I think that part of town is fucking cool as shit.
Yeah,
like
I
that,
love
the
it.
old downtown.
Didn't used to
Yeah,
be. Did not used to be. Down Elm was kind of scary before any of that stuff came up.
Well,
I mean,
it
it
was
was
all like boarded up and shit, but like
Yeah.
it just it holds its history. Like when you look at the buildings,
Yeah.
you know, and everything, you're like, oh, it's pretty cool. Like that big general store.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
never
yeah.
open or anything, but just it looks like time forgot it. Like it's still in its original kind of.
No,
form.
that's for sure. Like there, because I have this kind of thing. I like seeing like old, like kind of the history behind cities and things in general. So when I go into a space where it's like, this place was once like it had its own culture, it had its own like thriving, economy and booming, and then stuff happens and like it just crumbles, but then it starts to rise up again. Yeah. And so it's the cyclical nature of a lot of things that you can see, paralleled in all kinds of different, things. But hopefully, it definitely does start growing, because it is, at this point, it's just kind of like, it's not stopping, the amount of, things that are happening. It's going to just keep on going and going. The only thing that, one of the core things behind us is that, whatever happens with that progress, and you can't ever stop progress, it always has to keep on going. You also can't like steamroll over the things that are already there, and like the cultures and the people and the traditions and the communities that already exist in these areas. Yeah. So we've always kind of tried to been very adamant to providing a space where they can kind of like launch up and ride that wave as well, because it's definitely going to be such a switch up in the next 5 years. You have to see, have to just keep on at it and just ride that and see where it takes us, I think. Yeah,
it's going to go there. Before we got this building, we looked extensively down there. Yeah. Just because we wanted to be near you guys. Yeah. And everybody's been buying everything up down there.
Dude, it's so crazy.
Even like dilapidated buildings and shit.
Oh yeah, the building's like this far, being held up by
by a
like $1 million.
They're like, yeah, you want to lease this like $5,000 a month? Like what?
Yeah.
It doesn't have a roof.
Yeah. It's insane. Like, oh man.
Well, the city is paying companies to specifically have their businesses downtown, because it just adds more for the tourism, for the any of the Magnolia tours that they do, because we've talked about this before, but a lot of local Wacoans really hate the progress that Waco has made, especially with Magnolia and Chip and JoJo. And in some ways, it's not good because, like, say for example, the taxes have gone up, which sucks for a lot of business owners and for homeowners. But the tourism itself and everything that has come with it has changed this entire town. I mean, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, you couldn't walk downtown without fear of getting mugged or shivved. And so it's true.
It's like not even knifed, like straight shiv. Like we're gonna create
People pull it out of their shoe,
sharpen toothbrush.
They pull back the rubber bands and they shiv you.
Christmas sweater, bitch.
But no, I mean it was scary to go downtown, and so but now you go down, it's just a thriving, cute little city. And so I'm of the camp that I like the progress that has been made, and I like the changes that have been made, because it's, now Waco is a cool place to live, whereas before it was like, oh, where David Koresh lived or whatever, what people want to say, and now it's actually a cool place to be.
Yeah. I mean, the Magnolia thing isn't our vibe, but I 100% support it, because I'm like, they bring people from all over the country here.
Yeah.
And then like I was saying to Classy Glass Lilu, it's like it's our responsibility, because people go to Magnolia and you're good for an hour.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do after that? Then you might jump on that little bus and go over to their old real estate office and snap a couple pics. But then what are you gonna do? What I mean? Then it's on us
to provide spaces, provide entertainment,
community creation. To provide something cool for everybody.
Yeah,
you're always gonna have, at least in big kind of like developing areas, you're always gonna have these centers of industry, centers of like entertainment or tourism. And it's always going to be kind of like at odds with the already community that's established there.
Yeah.
But the way I've always seen it, and I've seen it in different areas, and so it's always like, the boom is going to happen. The progress it has to happen in terms of everything getting better. Mm-hmm. But it's just figuring out how you can ride that, how you can get into it, ride that wave, figure out a way, because it's going to grow regardless. It's either you're going to stand in its way or you're going to like let it push you up too.
Get in where you fit in.
So
Yeah.
I've always tried to like figure out ways to like try to get into those niches and just start like building up with it, because that's the only way we can kind of like also look back and help out the peoples that we don't want to see left behind, because once you're at a position where you reach back and like help pick up as well. So it's always kind of like that. It's this whole community kind of essence that I've always really striven to kind of like go with.
How long have you been in Waco?
I've been in Waco, I think, going on 9 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was, well, 8, about 8 years. 2012. 2012 is when I came out here for school.
We got time for an ad real quick.
Sure. This episode is brought to you by Skellington Curiosities. Skellington Curiosities is the only curiosities and oddities shop in Waco, Texas, full of clothing, lingerie, accessories, oddities, and everyday curiosities. A spooky vibe 365. Visit us online at skellingtoncuriosities.com.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them.
Fuck those.
So you went to Baylor?
Yeah.
That's cool.
What'd you go to Baylor for?
Started off as bio, got kicked out.
What? How'd that happen?
It was like academic probation.
Oh, you were.
And it wasn't even because it was stupid, because it was like I guess I was a good student, and so I would get good grades, but I would never go to class, and so I would always be hanging out with my friends, and we would always be playing pool down there, and like sometimes if the pool game was going on too long, it's more important you got to finish the pool game, and so I try to keep track of like all my absences and stuff like that, and so eventually I got to this point where it was like I was one day away from like losing credit in that class, which would then put me underneath another. It was like a domino effect.
Yeah.
Essentially, I messed up my calculations of days, and I missed one extra day, and so I failed this class. I had like a 96 average in,
Boo.
and then like that dominoed into like all these other academic stuff, and then I was suspended for a year, for a semester. I think it's a semester.
Yeah.
But I ended up just doing it over at MCC.
Nice.
And stuck around, did it at MCC, got the scores and the credits back up, and then I came back in. That's when I switched over to business.
Okay.
Because it was much easier.
Right, yeah.
Isn't that weird? Like, I always hate like the old school mentality of like all that shit. It's like when you're a kid, they make you learn all this bullshit that you'll never fucking use.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I always thought like, oh, just like let people decide what they want to do, and then don't put like you have to be at every class. It's just like day jobs as well. It's like I used to have this argument with my boss that I used to work with all the time. Like you have a number of things that you need me to do. As long as I do them, what the fuck do you care if I'm 2 minutes late from lunch?
Yeah.
Like what does it matter as long as the job's done? If I'm not doing the job, then come fucking talk to me. You know what I mean? And it's the same with school. It's like, you're
getting the grades, you're doing the stuff,
If you're passing your midterms and your finals and you're proving that you learned what they want you to fucking learn, what does it matter,
Yeah, that's what because my only year at MCC, I had to take a history class, and the history professor was super cool because he had an 8 a.m. class, and I was always too hungover to go to his freaking class. So I always, turned in my assignments, and I passed his test, but I wasn't in class. And so we had the very final test, and he was like, look, you don't have to be in class. Here's the notes. Listen to the recordings of the class. If you can pass it, like come in and take the test. If you pass it, then you can pass the class. And I was like, cool.
That's badass.
Because he knew that I wasn't going to make it the last like 2 weeks of school. So why the fuck are you going to like fight with me about it? So I was like, I wish all the
white
professors
girl
were there.
wasted.
Yeah.
I was.
I could tell.
Mojitos at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Too much.
I can get behind some mojitos at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Ugh, mojitos are gross.
What?
Sorry. Sorry.
Mojitos are life.
Oh.
No.
Okay, I gotta tell you, I discovered this new place Serena introduced me to the other day. It's pretty new. One Day.
Yeah,
Have you heard of
one
it?
day you just discovered it.
I just did.
Where
And
is
I
it?
have
Such a
to
cool
say
spot,
the
right?
best drinks I've ever had.
Such a good vibe, such a cool spot.
Yeah.
The drinks are on point.
Where is it?
It's
On
Up your
Washington.
ass.
No, not Washington. Columbus. Columbus.
Columbus. it's do you know where Yaki is? It's a food truck. Do you know
No.
where the Waco workplace is?
The only thing that I know down on Columbus is that Nexus
So
Sports
Nexus.
place.
So Nexus, that kind of like block of buildings. Next, one day is on the entire other side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's a bar? Oh, okay.
And a coffee shop.
Coffee shop, kind of bar, cocktail bar, and then there's a food
coffee
truck in the
shop.
back.
Okay.
That's called Yaki.
But
I'll
yeah,
have to
like
go look
best
at that.
drinks I've ever had. So good.
There's some really good mimosas. Like I usually go and have meetings at like early.
Go on my lunch break, get some mimosas.
Like, you want a coffee? No, I'll take a mimosa.
Yeah.
She complains about the safety of downtown, but Nexus Sports, where she hangs out a lot, or used to hang out a lot, it's 10 feet from where they release all the prisoners.
That's true.
Yeah. Across the street.
That's true. That's true. You look out the window and you could just see, you know, prisoners and
You have
Johnson.
all the trustees out there just
Yeah.
doing the lawn. Like, what's up?
God.
Yeah, I forgot. I totally forgot about that. I haven't been down there in a long time, so I forgot.
The trustees are pretty dope, though.
Yeah.
I used to work at while I was in college, I used to work at Sherwin-Williams, right on Columbus too. So I was just kind of like a delivery guy, and then I went up to like manager. But whenever the sheriff's office would come in to get paint, they would like come in. The dude would come in and he would get the order, and then once we get the order, like he would get all the trustees to just walk in and just like grab all the buckets and take them out. But there was this one dude that was really super chill, and I was always just kind of bullshit with him in like those 2 seconds that he was allowed to talk to me.
Yeah.
But cool dudes.
Yeah, where my parents' company is, because we're on the Loop. But we're kind of towards, like, we're next to the new stadium close to the new stadium. So if you go like 2 miles down the road on 6, there's a prison there.
Yeah.
And so when they release the prisoners, they always come trickling in to where our business is, because there's also like a really shady motel across the street and right next to our business. So like, it doesn't happen as much anymore, but for a while, you would always get guys that would come in. They're kind of dirty, they're kind of smelly, and they're always like, "Are you guys hiring?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, sure." And as soon as they give me their application, I'm like, "All right, what'd you do? I gotta look. Because because you can look up a lot of that stuff is public record, but you can also look up like, you know, the sex offender registry and stuff like that. So that's my first stop is like, all right, are you a sex offender? What'd you do? If you're not a sex offender, then I go and look at the other stuff and I'm like, oh, okay. Like all you did was, you know,
Fucking nosy.
I'm sorry.
Just, like researching and shit like that.
I'm sorry. Like
Tonight she's going to be looking you up.
Like I saw that in 2019.
Let's find out what he really got suspended for.
when you do HR, like you are trying to make sure that you're hiring, one, people who could do the job, and two, people that are going to be safe, because you know, my kids come up to my office, other coworkers' kids come up to the office, so I'm not going to hire somebody that was just in jail for, you know, pedophilia. Like that's not something that's going to happen. So I am damn nosy. I'm just like, all right, what'd you do? And that's, I mean, you know, it's unfortunately Texas is a right to work state. So if I look at their long resume of jail time and I decide that they are not probably safe to work, and then I don't bring them in for interviews. So I'm sorry. Okay.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I like being safe. Sorry.
Let's talk about your food business.
Yeah. Zochis and Quetzal. That was actually kind of like my first kind of foray into Waco. It was after I was working for Sherwin. I was eventually I was like an assistant manager there. And I was working there for about a year, I think. About a year as assistant manager. My manager like quit on me, and then just me and like 2 guys had to run this whole store for like a good like month, and it was hell. We're putting in like 90-hour work weeks, just going crazy, but it made a nice amount of overtime.
There you go.
But I used that overtime. I put in my 2 weeks notice, and I went to Mexico. And I just kind of like took a vacation, a couple months out there, just traveling.
Where'd you go?
All throughout central Mexico, a little bit on the coast, a little bit south. So just staying in hostels, just going around. I spent like 2 weeks in Mexico City just by myself, just kind of like mixing in the culture. And I love doing that. I love like immersing myself in different spaces and cultures. Yeah. So went that because I already had the intention of doing something food related, but I just wanted to get like much more actual palette of it and like talk to a lot of the people down there doing it. Eventually I came back and I kind of like was just gonna come back, use my savings and try to get into these, just somehow kickstart something. I went back on my like photography skills and I started being the social media manager for Black Oak Art and Gather Waco. So it's the people that do all the pottery for Magnolia.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I was handling all their Instagram and all their kind of like marketing essentially. And that's how I got in connection with a lot of the Cultivate and Startup Waco and all these things and whatnot. Then so after that, I had the idea for the food business, Quetzal, which is a traditional like home style guisados, like all on tortillas and whatnot, handmade. And I used that to launch it through one of the startup incubator things. They had like a contest where it was like those pitch, kind of like a Shark Tank essentially thing.
Yeah.
And so I did that one and I got to like third place, second place. I don't know. We're going to say one of those. But that was really good though, because that kind of connected me with a lot of businesses in the area. It got me connected with things like the Waco Foundation, like all these other bigger organizations that do stuff in Waco in terms of businesses and just community things.
Yeah.
And I guess that was like my first opportunity to get the name out. And just from that, I just kind of like started doing things with these people and getting connected with these people and getting connected with that. And like before long, it felt like I was just kind of meeting all these people. And I was doing Quetzal, doing events. And that's how I did the first like restaurant week at Brotherwell. That's my first time meeting Brotherwell. And so we did a big thing over there with Quetzal, and it was just that. It was just kind of like this, I don't know, this, everything just kind of falls into place, essentially. Eventually, I just got those connections. Those were the same connections I used to create the Eastside Market. And now Quetzal is like, because with the whole COVID and everything, we were doing majority just kind of like catering. So it switched over to more just catering events and stuff like that. So, of course, all that was canceled like during that. And that's when we did like a pivot towards drinks. Yeah. And that's where I brought out Jochis, because it was a much less of an overhead, easier to just kind of turn around and just easier to just produce. So that's where I created that brand and created that other separate brand, separate business essentially. But right now, with it's kind of cold and everything, I'm using this time to finish up this truck I have, talk with some people about maybe potentially putting it in some some kind of way, doing like pop-up, like an actual like installed pop-up thing at different locations around town.
Oh, cool.
So just trying to be creative with it right now. Just trying to figure out where it fits in, because once this whole kind of COVID thing starts shutting down and we kind of come into spring or summer, that's when I really want to relaunch it all and just kind of let it grow and grow from there.
The whole world's going to have a grand reopening. I'm so fucking excited.
It was such a bummer because so many cool things were just like really starting to pop off right before it hit.
Yeah.
And
we had that big ass concert thing we were going to do.
Yes, I was so excited for that.
The Eastside like.
It's okay, it's just on hold. Hopefully
right?
it can happen again.
I saw a meme talking about how like March is just around the corner, and it's like you're still trying to process last March.
I know.
I was like,
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
It was crazy. That March was fucking crazy.
Fucking tell us about it, dude.
Man.
We were open for 10 days.
10 days
and then it hit.
The pandemic.
And we were like, holy shit, we just invested
everything
we got.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I was keeping track on the news, and like I was hearing like all these other things shut down, like South by shut down. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then like Magnolia shut down. Like, oh fuck. And I just and so we kept on going. It was like a couple days before the actual like our event, and we were like all sitting at the table at Brotherwell, just kind of like walking through it. Me, Keep Waco Loud, Brotherwell, Dre. We were just kind of like, do we do this? Do we postpone it? Do we do it? And so eventually we were just like, no, we're gonna do it. We got to do it, And then we get a call from the city. It's like, hey, I'm gonna need y'all to shut up, and shut down.
Oh.
God.
Yeah, we got time for another ad.
Yeah. This episode is also brought to you by Mod Ministry. Mod Ministry merch creates for the edgy woman, the kind of woman who works hard but plays much harder, who embraces femininity but tests the societal limits. We are not for the faint of heart. We are bold. We are beautiful. Check out Mod Ministry Etsy page for handmade lingerie. 5-star rated seller since 2014.
Yeah. It's not a good thing, but it's like the only thing COVID did was it weeded out the weak for sure. You know what I mean? If you didn't want to hustle for your business,
harsh.
but it's true though. You saw who wanted to hustle for their businesses.
That's true.
We saw
That's
people that were just like, well, like whatever happens, and then they fucking ate shit. And the ones like us, we hustled. We're all online. I'm seeing everybody, and then, and now we'll create a whole new thing. And this thing is all. Yeah,
I'm definitely hopeful for the just kind of like the re-expansion of everything. Next year.
Well, it's funny because I see people who are like totally foregoing the COVID thing. Like Script just put on the private hip hop party last weekend, and I saw the pictures and the videos, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
I saw that.
And there were like,
it looks so badass though.
I was like,
it makes me miss events.
If I was in town, I would have been there.
I was watching the video and I was like, Script, you son of a bitch. You I have no fear, because there were just a shit ton of people. And I think most of them were wearing masks, but I saw a couple people who weren't. And I was like, you have no fear, like none.
I feel like once you have it, then your fear just kind of goes away too.
Yeah.
Because I've already had it too. And now it's just kind of like, you kind of get this kind of like false sense of security where you're just like, hey, I'm like immune for the next 3 months.
I'm invincible.
I go everywhere.
Well, it's kind of, that's the big debate. It's like, is it taking away your freedom? If you choose to go somewhere and do something, it's just like any other decision that you do.
You choose to leave the house, you could get hit by a car, but that's your choice.
You know what I mean? It's like,
well, I think about, when we had Script and Mary Jane on here, and she was like, I'm going to Florida, and I was like, you're going to Florida right now? She's like, well, I can either get COVID here, I can get it in Florida. And I was like, all right, like that's the way to go about it, because honestly, to me, I'm not going to stop living my life, and I'm not going to, obviously I'm not going to go to like a concert with 1,000 people. That's just silly. But like, if doing this podcast, going to like little gatherings, things like that, like things that, give you serotonin during this time.
Give you sanity.
I know. Like, I'm not going to stop doing those things. So, I'm just really interested to see how many more people are going to be like, fuck it. And they're just going to do like these events around Waco, and they'll just be like, yeah, whatever. No big deal.
Well, the thing for me too, it's like, I don't really talk politics or anything. But it's government imposed, right? And the government gave everybody a stimulus check during the first shutdown. But shit's still shut down per se, you know what I mean? And it's still out there, and there's they stopped doing the PPP loans, they stopped doing all these other things, and it's like, but we're still forced with these restrictions. It's like, you can't have it both ways. You either have to support your society, or you have to let us go. You know what I mean?
Let us go. Let us go. Let us go. I want to go to concerts again, motherfuckers. That's my opinion on it.
It makes sense because...
And obviously, anybody susceptible to the disease, they have pre-existing conditions and stuff, stay the fuck home. You know what I mean? Like, clearly.
It's rough for businesses, rough for business owners, rough for...
It's killing
for things like that.
People.
And so it's, that's the thing, you need support from the government, you need support from them to like,
And we have friends that have businesses and they've taken the loans part of it, not like the grant parts, the loans. And
now they're in debt.
Now they're in debt. And even some of our neighbors and these other, we didn't do it. We just sort of, let's just focus and hustle as much as we can. But a lot of our neighbors took a deal from our landlord that said, they basically said, we'll cut your rent in half for 3 months. But then after the 3 months, they're like, it's all due now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And they are all trying to like sue them and do all this stuff. And it's just like,
Yeah.
But and then I get it. It's like people don't really look at the layers. It's like, the people that own the building, they also have to pay bills too. So they're like, hey, like we gave you a break to earn more, and you didn't earn it, and now we have to pay. So it's just
it's just I feel like it's all like starts at a level like a political level, and just kind of like an infrastructure level. There's always going to be. You always need to produce something because there's always bills coming, and that's going to affect everyone.
I just want to reiterate the importance of supporting all these small businesses.
Yes,
with
please.
Christmas coming up, buy small. Buy things from your friends who don't necessarily have a business. They just make shit on the side. Like, do that too, you know, support other people's dreams.
That's one of the things I kind of, you know, one of the cool things that came out of all this COVID thing is all that new, like, invigorated force into creating your own stuff.
Yeah.
Creativity, like, really flourished, like, all these people doing things on their side hustles happening, you know, it was like you had to find a way to do something.
Well, I applaud you guys for you know, continuing to do your market and helping to support these small businesses.
Totally.
And you know, just the little that I saw of the market was, you know, trying to keep everybody safe and going through all the measures of social distancing and stuff, but also keeping it to where people can support themselves and we're still supporting the community and the city and all of those things. So I think that's really cool that you guys are continuing to have the markets.
Appreciate it.
Maybe Jordan might show up to this month.
Right. 20th.
Oh no.
20th. No, yeah.
Can I share your booth, Kylie?
Well, we're getting to the midnight hour here. You want to do some shout outs?
Yeah. Shout out to my friend Nikki. She brought us a charcuterie box that was delicious. Charcuterie box that was delicious, and she's got some she's got some things in the works of trying to expand on that. Thank you to everybody who bought one of my box of chocolates. It makes me super happy that I had to restock so quickly. And shout out to you guys for letting me, you know, take up space in your store. So
I'm happy to have you because I get to eat chocolate.
Yay!
Win-win.
I want to give a shout out to a few local businesses, LaSalle Shops. Obviously, if you guys visit Waco, go down there, visit them. Visit Brotherwell Brewing.
Right on.
And let's see, who else do we want to do? Glass Phoenix.
Black Daisy.
Classy Glass.
Black Daisy.
She just said Black Daisy. Go down to if you're in Waco and you're hungry, go down to Union Hall.
Yeah.
There's 15 badass restaurants inside there, plus a bar.
One day Waco.
One day.
Yeah.
There you go.
Kylie's new
Sorry,
favorite.
my new favorite
favorite.
place ever.
Yeah. Who do you want to shout out?
I already did all my shout outs. That's it. One day Waco.
That's it.
For like the fifth time.
Now with me, shout out to like all the creatives out there, all the you know, the artists, the musicians and everything, taking this time to like really perfect their craft and just kind of like create something. I'm excited to see what that looks for in the future. Shout out to all the businesses just rocking and rolling and keeping it going and steady. Shout out to everybody that just kind of like comes and is a part of all these events and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, we're all in this together. We're all a community.
Where can people find you and information?
For me, personally, you can go to on Instagram at Venturing Local. But for Quetzal,
His Instagram stories are always lit.
Yeah. I have a very curated page now. That you can go to Eastside Market, Eastside.market for Instagram. You can go to I don't know. I feel like I have so many things now. I just kind of like lift them up. But usually, if you follow one of those two, it's always just gonna tag you onto everything else I'm doing.
Sweet.
Cool.
All right. Until next time. See
Bye.
you guys.
Peace out.